Meet Mark. He's a US citizen. During one of his trips abroad, he met and fell in love with Kate. After dating long distance for a year, Mark returned to Kate and proposed. They spent some time together, and then he went back to the US to quickly begin the process of sponsoring her. There are 3 main phases in this process. The first phase is getting through the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, or USCIS. In order to do this, Mark needs to first complete all the required forms, which can be found on uscis.gov. Then he needs to gather all the supporting documents that are listed in the instructions of each form. But you should always consult an immigration attorney, since you may need to provide additional documents based on your particular situation. Once Mark completes all the forms and puts together all the required documents, he mails the package with the filing fee to USCIS. Depending on which state Mark lives in, he will mail the package to either the USCIS Phoenix lockbox or the Chicago lockbox. USCIS can take up to 6 months to issue a decision. Once Mark receives the approval notice in the mail, Phase 1 is complete. The second phase is getting through the National Visa Center, or NVC. Once USCIS approves a case, they send the information to NVC. NVC then assigns you a case number and mails you a letter with the instructions on how to proceed. It takes a few weeks for NVC to send out this letter. When Mark receives this letter, the second phase begins. Following the instructions on the letter, Mark signs into his account, pays the immigrant visa fees, and later completes the application. After doing all of this online, he gathers the supporting documents NVC also requested in their letter. Most of these documents will be the same documents that Mark submitted to USCIS. He then mails these documents to the address provided. NVC can take 3 to 4 months to process everything and then forward it to the US Embassy in the country where Kate lives. This completes Phase 2. The third phase is getting through the US Embassy abroad. Once the embassy has everything it needs, Kate will receive an interview notice. Before going to the interview, she'll have to undergo a medical exam. At the interview, Kate will present the original copies of all the documents submitted to NVC. She'll answer any questions the officer may have. If it all goes well, Kate will be issued an immigrant visa, which will be valid for 6 months. Now she can immigrate to the US and reunite with Mark and live happily ever after. P.S. She'll get her green card in the mail approximately 3 weeks after she enters the country.